intuitive. Hi guys! Today, as we celebrate Christ the King Sunday, we're looking at Jesus as a different kind of king. Not quite the king that Pontius Pilate was expecting to be dealing with. So we're going to make this different kind of king a different kind of throne today. So this is one that I've been kind of working on, and it's just made of cardboard, and I've done a little bit of decorating to it, which is what you'll be doing today. So let's get started and see what's in our bag. What is in our beautiful Sunday school bag this week? Well, it's just a small collection of things. Let's dump everything out and see what we've got. In our little recyclable bag. Well, first we've got the back of the throne that we're going to make for our king. We've got 2 arms for our king's throne. And then we need a seat. There's our seat. I think this one even has, it's all cut out of just cardboard. So our king is going to be sitting on a recycled throne. The rest of the items that are in here are just for decorating our throne. So this is just an activity for you to have fun, making this look like a different kind of throne for a different kind of king. So I'm going to start assembling in just a second. Come right back. So I'm sitting here trying to decide if I should assemble our throne first or should I decorate it first. So I think I'm going to put a few decorations on it first and then show you how to assemble it. So one of the things I would love for you to include is this little adhesive backed label that you can, if you look really closely, you can see a dashed line going around it. And I'm going to cut it out on that dashed line. And it sort of resembles the shape of the back of the throne. So if you pull out some scissors and cut it out, and this will help remind you of why the heck do I have this throne sitting in my room that doesn't look anything like a king's throne other than that it's a big chair. Because Jesus didn't really sit in a big ornate jewel encrusted throne, did he? No, he was a much more common, would that be the word? If you have fingernails or if you have patience, you should be able to peel the sticky backing off of this. Let's see if I can get it here. And I'm going to adhere this to the back of my throne. That's a little bit easier to do before I assemble things. I'm also going to put some of this green moss material on the chair itself, and it too has some adhesive on the back. So you have to just kind of get in there and patiently work with peeling back the paper that protects it. And maybe we'll do that in just a minute off camera. Get back with me. And as I have sat here and worked with peeling back the paper from my moss, I've noticed that moss kind of falls everywhere. So to help with your cleanup from this activity, if you use this moss, you might want to put a piece of paper down or just have a broom handy, because it does seem to. So I'm just going to cover this part of my seat with some moss, because that does not look like something a royal king would sit on, does it? But again, Jesus is a different kind of king, isn't he? Peel this one off and kind of put it right here, and then do a little bit of trimming. It's a little hard to cut because it's sticky, but anyway, I never promised you crafts that were going to be easy, kids. Now I've gummed up my scissors pretty good, but anyway, got a moss-covered throne. I'll get this last piece done and we'll get back together. All right, so I've put moss on the seat of my throne here. Whoops. There we go. It is sticky stuff, let me warn you. And one thing I did go in and do, if you cover up these little slits, you're going to need to recut them because the slits are important for holding our chair together. So I've got a couple of things done here. Another thing, I've included a colored pen for you to go in and maybe do some decorations on your throne. Feel free to grab some of your crayons or some of your markers, whatever you want. I've also included some natural looking butterflies. And again, these are just peel and stick. So you kind of have to work your finger in there and grab a corner of it, peel it off, and decorate your throne with some of these natural butterflies, which are so different from the jewels and the fancy fabrics that would be used on a normal king's throne. These are all very natural, but just as beautiful for our different kind of king. So, another thing I've included, a couple of other little things I've included, are a little bit of vine that you might want to wrap around. If you need to, you could glue it on. Just however you want to use it. Maybe put it on the legs of your chair, whatever. And then I've given you 2 strands of this gorgeous yarn that's velvety and almost looks like something you'd find on the forest floor. And I was thinking about maybe wrapping the arms of my chair with this. So that might require a little piece of tape. But let me go on and show you how to assemble this once you've done your decorating, or maybe you've done some decorating and just want to see what it's looking like. And it's fairly simple. Let's start with the seat of the chair. And I'm going to slide this gap into that gap and just sort of work the 2 gaps together, and they'll make a good locking. Let's see if we can get it in there. They should lock in tight with one another. There we go. They have to wiggle it a little. Keep pushing. And once it's in, it's pretty secure, especially now that I've added the moss on there. And then facing the exact same way is the other set of legs and side. So again, this one's going to slide into this groove. And again, it's going to be a little bit tight. So you may have to wiggle it a little bit and push and shove. Ugh. And if you have to, cut them a little bit further. But once I get this in, check back with me. All right, I had to work with it and shove it and push it and wiggle it, but I finally got the 2 legs on. So you can see it's already getting fairly stable. And the 3rd piece, the backing of the throne, will just slide into these 2 sides. And again, we'll just sort of slide it together, and it'll be a fairly stable chair once you get this assembled. And then you might decide you want to decorate it a little bit more. I think I'm going to try wrapping some yarn around it. So I made the connections pretty tight because you can always cut the little troughs deeper or wider, but you can't put them back together. So anyway, and again, you might want to wrap some yarn around, maybe tie it off and then wrap it. I'm going to let you use your imagination. If you want to get out, like I said, some crayons or some markers and add more colors to yours, just make it look like a throne fit for Jesus, our different kind of king. And I hope you've enjoyed this craft. And we'll see you again soon as we start Advent. Bye, guys.